Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami, Dhammam saranam gacchami, Sangham saranam gacchami,
Buddham saranam gacchami.
With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's gloom. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered in misery's glow.
Hello, hello, hello. Ben, can you hear me? Okay. Now let us turn to page 3. And the morning session is particularly for us to learn. I say those who are really new to this, and they just observe what we're doing here, and you don't have to do it every day yourself. Just observe, and then when it makes sense to you that okay, finally, like let's say, take medication for tuberculosis. Oh, now I see the need of the benefit. I see the benefit of this. I have to take it every day. When you feel that, then you can do it. So till that point, not necessary. Don't just follow blindly, but just observe it. It's extra material for you, and later on, when you want to do it, you are ready to do that because you know how to do that. Usually, some of the people who attend these retreats, they become so interested, they start to feel the benefit, and even after like 1 year of rigorous programs, they want to know how to actually apply this in their daily lives. So because this is the kind of program, the morning one, which we really don't do when I'm in Delhi. We don't do that because people, they live there, and early morning coming to Delhi Tibet House, this is not possible. It's not like a residential program. So these things happen only when we go out. For example, here in Thosamling, Deer Park, Dorji Center, Bodh Gaya, Root Institute, and so forth. And there are several places. So we do this particularly for the people to learn how to do this kind of practice on a daily basis. When you see that, oh, this is something I need to have for a daily, as a daily practice for my life. Okay, so for this matter, we are doing this. And some people, they spend like 3 hours, 4 hours, just reading. Of course, it is always better doing something than not doing at all. But you spend like 4-5 hours, and then instead of that, if you spend like 1 hour, 45 minutes with great quality, that is better. And if you want to spend more time, but then make sure that there's a quality there. So what you're doing here is a very concise, that the very concise materials which are the indispensable required for our spiritual growth. These are things added here, and you will know that these are the minimum that we should be doing when we feel the need of doing this for your own personal growth. Okay, so doing this on a daily basis, the future life, that is a different story. Even with this life, we see that a person gradually becomes more calm, peaceful, composed, and then the kind of a very positive influence on the others, not easily the irritable. So there are so many benefits by doing this kind of practice on a daily basis. Okay. For this, we need to remember 3 things. One is the refuge field, meaning that I need role models. I need to learn from the role models, Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and particularly you can think of, say, the Buddha Shakyamuni, the greatest role model for us. And today we have His Holiness the Dalai Lama as a great role model. Anybody from any religion, any gender, comes to His Holiness embraces with full of wisdom and compassion. So they are like your role models, and imagine that when you visualize them, just imagine that they are there to give love and affection, pay attention to you exclusively, pay attention to you, and give love and affection to you. Really embrace you with so much love and affection. The way the mother, it gives full attention to you when you were a young, tender child, when you would need the maximum love and affection of the mother. So this is what we should do. That if you do that, then the refuge becomes very strong. Number 1. Number 2 is the Bodhicitta field. Bodhicitta field meaning you have to grow in your compassion. You have to grow in your sensibility, in your wisdom. So for this, what for you growing is that you grow in your happiness and joy. For this, your mind should expand, not be confined to this selfishness, I all the time. If they expand, you become more stable, grounded, and what makes you to expand is the compassion. So, for compassion, there should be somebody for whom to feel the compassion. That is all the beings, starting from your family members, parents, children, then your husband, wife, then everyone, all sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, hungry ghosts, the hell beings, god and goddesses, spirits, everyone, all creatures, It's just a matter of the different forms that they take. Everybody seeks to shun miseries and everybody seeks to embrace happiness. Just think of all of them and imagine that you're including them in so in the process, your compassion expands. Okay. And the purpose of this practice, remember 3 points. Number 3 is the purpose is to awaken this Buddha nature within us, zero perfection within us, by removing the mental dirt. How to remove the mental dirt? Finally, the wisdom of emptiness, which you're going to study. And meanwhile, this wisdom of emptiness must be supported, complemented by very powerful the bodhicitta, motivation of bodhicitta to benefit all the beings. Okay, just let us take a few seconds to invoke the refuge field, bodhicitta field, and a purpose of this practice. Okay, with this in mind, imagining that you are leading this practice and all the beings, all of family members and all sentient beings are joining you to unveil the Buddha nature within each one of them, to experience the greatest happiness and a full harmony, and the sense of brotherhood and sisterhood is restored in the whole world, in the entire universe. With this in mind, let's turn to page 3. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. Enthused by great compassion, you taught the Immaculate Dharma to dispel all perverted views. To you, the Buddha Gautama, I pay homage. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. I go for refuge until I'm enlightened to the Buddha, the Dharma, the Sangha. By my accumulations or practice of giving and so forth, may I become a Buddha to benefit all sentient beings. Sanye Juda Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Ba Tage Jinso Yebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sanye Du Barai Sho Sanye Juda Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyapsuch Tage Jinso Yebe Sonam Ge Dola Penjir Sanye Du Barai Sho Sanye Joda Zoge Chonam La Chanjo Pardo Dane Gyapsu Che Dage Jinso Kebe Chonam Yola Benjire Sanye Dubare Sho. Independent origination, there is no ceasing, no arising, no annihilation, no permanence, no coming, no going, no separateness, no sameness. I prostrate to the consummate Buddha, the supreme among all teachers, the one who taught this peace which is free of elaborations. I prostrate to the mothers of the hearers, the bodhisattvas and the Buddhas, which through the knowledge of all 8 hearers seeking pacification and complete peace, which through the knowledge of past courses or sublime migrations achieves the aims of the world, and through the possession of which helps subdue and expound a variety of teachings. The one who has transformed into the reliable guide, motivated by altruism to benefit sentient beings, the teacher, Sugata and protector, to you are my prostrations. The one who has eliminated the web of conceptualizations and is endowed with the divine bodies of the vast and the profound, who eternally shines for the forever noble light rays, to you the Buddha make prostrations. Inspired by wisdom and compassion, today in the Buddha's presence, I generate the mind of full awakening for the benefit of all sentient beings. Om Ye Dharma Hetu Prabhavam Hetum Tesham Dathagato Hyavatat Desham chayo nirodha evam bhati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum te gato hyavatat desham chayo nirodha eva vati mahashramanaye swaha. Om ye dharma hetu prabhavam hetum desham dathagato hyavatat desham chayo nirodha vati mahashramanaye swaha. All phenomena arise from causes. The causes are taught by the Tathagata. The cessation causes as well as taught by the great seer. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-lighted and non-composite. Such is the nectar Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one who to fathom this teaching in silence, I'll return to the words. Okay, I'll quickly explain this verse. This verse said by the Buddha himself. And the Buddha, when he became the enlightened, under the Bodhi tree in Bodh Gaya. I'm sure that many of you have been to Bodh Gaya there. How many of you have been to Bodh Gaya? Raise hands. How many of you have not been to Bodh Gaya? Raise hands. How many have not been to Bodh Gaya? Not been there. Okay. If you've not been there, just see to the possibility you go there. This extremely serene place, particularly the Bodhi tree, under which the Buddha became enlightened. The spot is still there. And the best would be we will study what is emptiness, what is bodhicitta here, and then you go there, it'll make full sense to us. Otherwise, you go there and the Buddha became enlightened here. That's it, finished, right? And what was he actually doing under the seat? What was he doing, right? It's not a physical gesture of just sitting like this. So mentally, he's thinking something. What was he thinking? He's thinking of the emptiness, the wisdom of emptiness. And this wisdom of emptiness, very different from how the ordinary people do, imbued with compassion, imbued with infinite compassion. So the mental defilements removed. So this, if you can visualize this, but think a little bit, you get a glimpse of what emptiness is. And of course, we can't expect to have a glimpse of emptiness within 6 days. But try best, learn something, and you go there, and even those who already went there, you go there when you happen to go next, and they just see that, okay, under the Bodhi tree, this is what Buddha was meditating, think of the emptiness yourself. This says, and then you see the wonder when that you feel the release of the mental emotions, attachment, anger, jealousy, fear, all, you see that they're all released. And then on the level of somebody becoming fully enlightened, where all the matters are gone, what's that mind like? Total freedom, totally freed. And then the mind simply spreads, nothing to obstruct it, spreading at every atom of the universe, thereby knowing every mind of the sentient beings, becoming omniscient. You just imagine that is extremely powerful. For this, we need to understand what is emptiness, what is bodhicitta. So this retreat is just ideal for us to prepare us to go there, to feel the maximum benefit of being there. Okay, so there, under the Bodhi tree, he became enlightened. And then the whole purpose of the becoming enlightened is to give teaching. The crown, throat, the forehead and the throat. Throat what? Symbolizing the speech, to benefit the beings through his speech. But he remained silent, not giving speech, not giving teachings at all. Then the kings of the celestial beings, and many of us may be wondering, what are celestial beings? Don't worry too much that part, and we will come to gradually understand what it means. So celestial beings, the kings of the celestial beings, through their clairvoyance, they saw that Prince Siddhartha, Prince Siddhartha, he became enlightened and now to be revered as the Buddha Shakyamuni. But he's just remaining silent, not teaching at all. So they descended to make prostrations to the Buddha and requested, please don't remain silent. Turn the wheel of Dharma. Turn the wheel of Dharma means give teachings to enlighten the beings of the wisdom to dispel the darkness of ignorance. And the Buddha uttered this verse, saying the profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light, non-composite, such a nectar of Dharma is what I've discovered. Finding no one who can fathom this teaching in silence or return the words. So seeing that what I've discovered is so profound. If you feel it, it's extremely profound and extremely peaceful, that all that the mental agitation, disturbance, all dissolve. Absolute peace. Elaboration free, meaning that the all disturbance, elaboration, they all dissolve. Clear light, experience of the clear light. And non-composite is not the conditioned by factors, non-composite. Such is the nectar of Dharma I've discovered. I've discovered this. And yet this is so profound that I don't see anybody who can understand this. So why do waste time? Rather I would go into solitude in my personal experience of this in the woods, in the wilderness. Then the kings of the celestial beings, they made more prostrations, requested more, and finally the Buddha headed towards Sarnath, Varanasi, and then he started to give the teachings. Okay, this word, let's recite this once more. Profound, peaceful, elaboration-free, clear-light and non-composite. Such is nectar-like Dharma I have discovered. Finding no one to fathom this teaching, in silence I will return to the words. Beyond utterance, thought and expression is the perfection of wisdom, which is unborn, unceased, and has the nature of space. Is the object of apprehension of self-realized wisdom. To you, the mother of the Buddhas of the three times, are the obeisance. All composite things are impermanent. All contaminated things are the nature of suffering. All phenomena are the nature of emptiness and selflessness. Transcendent sorrow is peace. The Guru is the Buddha, the Guru is the Dhamma, likewise the Guru is the Sangha. The Guru source everything wholesome. I go for refuge in the Guru. By the sound of the vibrant drum of Dharma, you liberate all beings of miseries. I beseech you to kindly remain and give teachings until the end of the expanse of billions of aeons. The Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realization are not transferred to them, is by teaching the truth of the suchness that the beings are liberated. Okay, this verse is very powerful, saying that Buddha will not perform any miracle on you so that you don't have to put effort and you'll be liberated. If this is the case, by now nobody should be suffering. If somebody has that power, if somebody has power, any agent like Buddha or whatever has the power to liberate you like this, right? Then by now nobody should be suffering. All these agents who are claimed as like enlightened, so forth, they are seen as the very compassionate. If they're very compassionate, why should they make somebody to suffer, right? So he very clearly said, Buddha does not watch the negativities of beings, nor does he remove their miseries by his hands. This is not something. If it is doable, somebody should have done it by now. That nobody should be suffering. But so many sufferings are there. So, and then that what? Then he became enlightened. How come? Because of spiritual realizations. Then he can share his spiritual realization with us. No. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to us. It can be done. But he can help us. How? It is by teaching the truth of the suchness. You also, by teaching that you also have the potential, you also have the seed of perfection. Get rid of this ignorance by introducing the wisdom. Right? What's the wisdom? Then he teaches wisdom step by step. Right? All composite things are impermanent. The first layer. All contaminated things are suffering nature. Second layer. Everything is nature, emptiness, selfless. Third layer. When you reach that level, then you transcend all your sorrow. So this is what he teaches. Then we learn it and see if it makes sense. If it makes sense, you start taking it yourself. Taking yourself and then see that you're growing. Okay. So this is a great message. This is that, in a way, the message that we are not to, just remain easy, take things easy, then somebody will do for me. Don't expect that. Somebody is there to guide you, but you have to walk the path yourself. Right? If somebody will walk for you, by now nobody should be suffering. This is reality. So wise people will see this and it makes sense. And for unwise people, it means, oh no, now in a way the Buddha is saying that I have to do it myself. It's so difficult, I cannot do it, somebody should do it for me. Right? So wise people look at it, this is amazing peace. Whereas unwise people say that, no, if there's somebody, Buddha, please take us to enlightenment, right? Then I don't do it effort. So lazy people don't want to put effort, they want somebody to do it for you. But the Buddha said, what do you want? You want the reality or you want the picture of pizza? Picture of pizza? Yes, I'll liberate you. I'll make all the promises and you'll have a ignorance is bliss. But if you want the reality, you have to walk yourself. Right? One man can take the horse to the river, but 20 men cannot make it drink. Don't forget it. These are the wisdom of the ancient people on the planet Earth. Right? Let us be wise. Let's not be unwise. Just fooling ourselves. Imagine somebody else will take us to nirvana or enlightenment. Don't fool yourself. If there's somebody who can take us, but nobody should be suffering. Right? Remember these verses. They are very powerful. Okay, let's read this again. The Buddha does not wash the negativities of beings, nor does he remove the miseries by his hands. His spiritual realizations are not transferred to them. It is by teaching the truth of suchness that the beings are liberated. Okay, in this connection, I also like to share some of the things that you can see around. Say that you offer some money, right? You offer some money to the shrines, to the temples, right? And then you don't do effort. And then who's ever in the temple will do that for you. Take you to Buddhahood, to get to enlightenment, whatever. You offer some money, right? So some people say, in fact, there's like a business transaction going in the temple. Business transaction. You offer 10 rupees and you expect that you get $1 million. Right? This is business transaction. This is not real Dharma. Right? Real Dharma is where you seek the blessings in ways that please inspire me. How you did it, inspire me, teach me, and then I'll walk the path. Right? You take me to the river, then I'll drink it myself. Right? Nobody can make you to drink. One person can take the horse to the river, but 20 men cannot make it drink. You have to walk the path. Whether you like it or not, this is the way, this is the only way. Right? Okay. With folded hands, I beseech the Buddhas of all directions to shine the light of Dharma for all bewildered mysteries gloom. If you are attached to this life, you are not a spiritual practitioner. If you are attached to samsara, you have no renunciation. If you are attached to your own self-interest, you have no bodhicitta. If there is grasping, you do not have a view. This is again another very important point. Who is going to remind me of explaining this meaning? Not now, later on. Who's going to remind me? Raise hands. Quick. 1, 2, 3. Professor William, make sure that you have 2 commitments now. I remember the early one. Over there, gentlemen, your name? Subhashji. Okay, Subhashji is there. 1, Venerable Anila, your name? Your name? Tinzi? Karuna. Oh, this is Karuna, Subhashji, Dr. William, and who else? And Jane here. Your name? Elal. Yes. And over there, your name? Isabel. Okay, so remind me before we leave to something. Because this is again a huge summary of the Dhamma practice. Okay, good. Next we read page 14. Page 14. Shakyamuni Buddha. Praise to Shakyamuni Buddha. So when we read this, it's not just praising the Buddha, right? Praising the Buddha and the Buddha is very happy and they shower his blessings. No, whether you praise the Buddha or not praise the Buddha, it doesn't make any difference to the Buddha, right? The point is that when you praise the Buddha, praising Buddha means, Buddha, you have these wonderful qualities. You're getting it? And you are my role model. And I also like to acquire these qualities. So what are the qualities on the basis of which you are praised? These are qualities that I need to cultivate. And see if you have some of these qualities within you. If you see that there are some of these qualities within you, rejoice. Rejoice and see how to cultivate, nurture them further. If you don't have these qualities within you, don't worry. At least you have the seeds of these qualities within you. Okay, now I see that these are the qualities manifested when you become Buddha, and everyone has the seeds of these qualities. So even I also have the seeds. I must learn how to awaken these seeds and then nurture them further. You getting it? So this is to seek inspiration. Not that you praise the Buddha and Buddha will be very happy, bless you, and then you get whatever you like. This is not the idea. Idea is that you seek the Buddha as a role model. Then you learn from this. So this is one thing. And this is very interesting. It said that the Buddha, the moment he was born, it said that he took 7 steps. He was born. How many took 1 step when you're born? Or let alone 7 steps. He took 7 steps. That's amazing. And since his childhood, of course, we can't really verify, whether he actually took steps. It doesn't matter. But as a little child, he demonstrated incredible compassion and incredible wisdom. Extremely mature. Even the elders, they could not think of. He could think of these. The amount of the wisdom, extremely profound wisdom, which he used to demonstrate his compassion. Very profound compassion. So, it said that he took 7 steps, and he made a proclamation that the world is suffering. I'm here to save you. This is what he said. I'm supreme, meaning that I came here to save the world. This is what he said. And as a little toddler, the father, the prince, the king, he consulted. In those days, it was a custom for the kings to consult the astrologers, big astrologers, about the future of this child. And the astrologer, many of you already know the story, but some of you do know the story. Just reasons those who do not know the story. Reasons. Okay. This is an interesting thing. So the astrologer, he must be like in his 60s. Then the astrologer just looking at the boy's palms. Astrologer started to cry. And the king was worried that something is wrong with my son. And the astrologer said, no, nothing wrong. And why are you crying? And the astrologer said that your boy is either going to become a universal monarch, the king of the whole universe, or he's going to be the light of the whole world, light to take all the beings towards from the darkness to the light. And why are you crying? Because by then I will not survive. I'll die. When he starts to shine in the world, I will not survive. Therefore, I would miss him. I would miss the benefit of this boy, your son, becoming the enlightened one. He made the prophecy. So all these are the wisdoms of the past. Today, such prophecies, so I don't think it's possible. So these are the prophecies made by this astrologer. And the king was worried that he may become enlightened, meaning he will leave the palace. So he was protecting the son all the time from going out of the palace. So he was deliberately putting effort to lure the son into indulgence in the worldly matters. So they eventually become the universal monarch rather than becoming an enlightened being. Right? Okay. And then some of you may be wondering, then how he became the enlightened being, not the universal monarch? That you have to read the biography, his biography. Okay. Let's read this, page 14. To the founder, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the one gone beyond, the four destroyer, completely perfected, fully awakened being, perfect in knowledge and in good conduct, Sugata, knower of the world, supreme guide of human beings to be tamed, teacher of gods and human beings, to you, the completely and fully awakened one, the endowed transcendent destroyer, the glorious conqueror, to the subduer from the Shakya clan, I prostrate, make offerings and go for refuge. When, O Supreme amongst humans, you are born on this earth, you paced out 7 strides and then said, I'm supreme in this world. To you who are wise, then I prostrate. With pure bodies, form supremely pure, wisdom ocean like a golden mountain, flame that blazes in the 3 worlds, winner of the best, Lord to you I prostrate. With the supreme science, face like a spotless moon, color like gold to you I prostrate. Dust free like you, the 3 worlds are not. Incompatible wise one, to you I prostrate. The Savior having great compassion, the Founder having all understanding, field of marriage with qualities like a vast ocean. To you the Tathagata I prostrate. The purity that frees from attachment, the virtue that frees one from the lower realms, the one path, the sublime pure reality, to the Dhamma that pacifies I prostrate. Those who are liberated and also show the path to liberation, wholly feel qualified with realizations, who are devoted to the moral precepts, to you the Sangha I prostrate. Do not commit any non-virtuous actions, perform only perfect virtuous actions. Subdue your mind thoroughly. This is the teaching of the Buddha. A star, a visual aberration, a flame of lamp, an illusion, a drop of dew or a bubble, a dream, a flash of lightning, a cloud. See conditioned things as such. Through this marriage may sentient beings attain the rank of all seeing, subdue the 4 falls and be delivered from samsara's ocean, perturbed by the waves of aging, sickness and death. Okay, page 29, Heart Sutra. The Heart Sutra, this is the teaching that happened in Rajgir. So all these places, they're nearby. The place where the Buddha became enlightened, Bodh Gaya, and then Rajgir, the place where the Buddha gave lots of teachings, including Heart Sutra, and then Nalanda, where, okay, by the way, some of the leaflets are there, handouts are there, the Nalanda studies. So there's the Nalanda, the ruins there, the place where all the brilliant ideas, they were developed, they're being studied, initially taught by the Buddha Shakyamuni, later to be commented upon by Arya Nagarjuna and the great masters, and they were studied there by thousands of the scholars there, and then from there disseminated to China around the 3rd century AD, 2nd century AD, then in 7th century to Tibet, and more precisely in 8th century, it just, went to Tibet, where it started to take root in Tibet, the Nalanda tradition. All what we are learning now, this is all from Tibet, and in China also. In fact, from Nalanda, it went to China and to Tibet at different times. Like there's a gap of like 300 years gap. First it went to China, meaning that like the great Chinese masters like I Ching, Xuanzang, and these great masters, they came to India, they learned there, they became scholars, enlightened masters, then they went back and taught there. And from Tibet, in 7th century AD, the Tibetan great king Songtsen Gampo, he sent as one of his bright ministers, to learn and then invent the Tibetan scripts so that it can be used to translate the Buddha's own teachings, the Indian masters' commentaries into Tibetan language. Then in the 8th century, the great Indian master, the philosopher, logician, and really enlightened Bodhisattva Shantarakshita, he was invited from India. He was already 72 years old. He was invited to Tibet, and then he, through his guidance and advice, the king, started to spread Buddhism in Tibet. So Buddhism really started to take root in 8th century. Okay, so the Heart Sutra here, this is one of the teachings given by the Buddha in Rajgir, the place where nearby the Nalanda and Bodh Gaya. So this Heart Sutra, we see that the Buddha Shakyamuni presided over the gathering, and the Aravalokiteshvara, the Bodhisattva of compassion, and Shariputra. And in fact, you have to learn who these beings are. And they were there surrounded by the monks, nuns, the bodhisattvas, and the lay devotees. And then the Buddha went into samadhi. Samadhi meaning meditative concentration. And the Buddha blessed Shariputra to ask question. Shariputra stood up, made prostration to the Buddha, and asked questions to Avalokiteshvara. Then Avalokiteshvara, he himself was also absorbed in meditative concentration on emptiness. And then he responded to Shariputra's question. And so reading Heart Sutra, we need to remember three things. One is, what is the question asked by Shariputra to Avalokiteshvara? Second, what is the response given by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? 2. Number 3, what is the benefit if we study this and then practice as taught by Shariputra, as taught by Avalokiteshvara to Shariputra? What benefit we get? All these three points are indicated here, one after the other. And as we read this, be mindful that we don't miss these 3 points. Okay, let's read this. So basically it's all about how to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. How to wake up from the sleep of ignorance. How to know that all the dream contents, they are empty of being real. So dream, there are 2 kinds, remember? Conventional dream and the unconventional dream. So conventional dream, we don't have to teach how to wake up. We wake up every day, right? You have already woken up from the conventional dream. But from the unconventional dream, we don't know how to wake up. We are trapped in the unconventional dream since beginner's time till now, and we'll keep going like this. And only when we learn these, then you will know, you'll get the tips, we'll get the techniques how to wake up from the unconventional dream. Once you are woken up, just you wake up from the conventional dream, you are freed from the contents of the conventional dream, the miseries of the conventional dream. Likewise, we wake up from the unconventional dream, we will be freed from all the miseries of the unconventional dream. So this is a total freedom. This is what we are seeking. Okay, let's read this. I prostrate to thou retrievable gem. Thus did I hear at one time, the Buddha was dwelling on Masavalcha's mountain in Rajgriha, together with the great community of monks and the great community of bodhisattvas. At that time, the Buddha was absorbed in the concentration on the categories of phenomena called profound illumination. Also at that time, the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara looked upon the very practice of the profound illumination of wisdom and beheld those 5 aggregates also as empty of inner nature. Then through the power of the Buddha, Venerable Shariputra said this to the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara: how should any child of the lineage who wishes to practice the act of the profound perfection of wisdom train? He said that, and the Bodhisattva Mahasattva Avalokiteshvara said this to the Venerable Shariputra: Shariputra, any son of the lineage or daughter of the lineage who wishes to practice the activity of the profound perfection of wisdom should look upon it like this, correctly and repeatedly, beholding those 5 aggregates also as empty of inner nature. Form is empty, emptiness is form. Empty is not other than form. Form is also not other than emptiness. In the same way, feeling, discrimination, composite factors, and consciousness is empty. Shariputra, likewise, all phenomena are empty, without characteristic, unproduced, unceased, stainless, not without stain, not deficient, not fulfilled. Shariputra, therefore, in emptiness there is no form, no feeling, no discrimination, no composite factors, no consciousness, no eye, no ear, no nose, no tongue, no body, no mind, no visual form, no sound, no smell, no taste, no object of touch, and no phenomenon. There is no I element and so on, up to and including no mind element and no mental consciousness element. There is no ignorance, no extension of ignorance, and so on, up to and including no aging and death and no extension of aging and death. Similarly, there is no suffering, origination, cessation and path. There is no exalted wisdom, no attainment, and also no non-attainment. Shariputra, therefore, because there is no attainment, bodhisattvas rely on and dwell in perfection wisdom, the mind without obscuration and thus without fear. Having completely passed beyond error, they reach the end point of nirvana. All the Buddhas who dwell in the 3 times also manifest the complete awaken to unsurpassable, perfect, complete enlightenment in reliance on the perfection of wisdom. Therefore, the mother of the perfection of wisdom, the mother of great knowledge, unsurpassed mantra, mantra equal to the unequaled, the mantra that thoroughly pacifies all suffering, should be known as truth since it is not false. The mantra of the perfection of wisdom is declared Yatha Om Gade Gade Bara Gade Bara Samgade Bodhi Swaha. Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva should train the profound professional wisdom like that. Then the Buddha arose from their concentration and commanded the Bodhisattvas, Mahasattvas, Avalokiteshvara, saying, well said, son of the lineage. It is like that, it is like that. One should practice a profound professional wisdom just as you've indicated. Even the Tathagatas rejoice. The Buddha having thus spoken, Venerable Shariputra, the Bodhisattva, Mahasattva, Avalokiteshvara, those surrounding the entirety, along with the world of gods, humans, asuras, and gandharvas, were overjoyed and highly praised that spoken by the Buddha. Okay, as we recite this Harsu mantra 7 times, just imagine that the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us. And we are all in the Rajgir, the place where this Harsu actually happened. And imagine the Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting us thus. Don't remain in the fears of samsara. Come towards the ultimate happiness by awakening the seed of perfection that you have. And you hearing this, what the Buddha is exhorting, you are so inspired. Imagine that you then inform this to your family members, to all the sentient beings. Look, this is what a compassionate Buddha Shakyamuni is exhorting. Let us not remain in fears and the tears anymore. Let us go towards the ultimate happiness by awakening the seed of perfection with ourselves. And everybody's inspired. So with this spirit, let us decide this. Imagine that everybody's joining you, making commitment, fresh commitment to put effort in the wisdom of emptiness, imbued with the spirit of bodhicitta, to cleanse the mental defilements and to awaken the seed of perfection to experience the ultimate happiness. Yatha Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha Tyatha 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 Om Gate Gate Paragate Parasamgate Bodhiswaha. By the teachings of 3 supreme jewels possessing the power of truth, may an outer hindrance be transformed, may they be dispelled, may they be non-existent, may they be pacified, may all negative forces opposed to the Dharma be completely pacified, may the host of 80,000 obstacles be pacified, may we be separated from problems and conditions harmful to the Dharma, may all enjoyments be in accord with the Dharma, may auspicious perfect happiness pervade this place now. Okay, some of you may be wondering why people are clapping, right? Okay, how many of you thought like this? Why clapping? Reasons? 1, 2, 3. Sananda, you know the reason, no? Okay, you don't know. Anyone else? Why clapping? Reasons? Who? Okay. Okay, the clapping. For example, say we are already doing this. You already have been doing this in your own life, right? I say, when somebody succeeds, when somebody does something good, admirable, what do? What is it? Why are you clapping? Tell me. Huh? No. Celebrate. So, celebration, what is the celebration? There's no celebration there. No celebration. You know, right? If celebration, then you do the whole day. It's no celebration, right? So why this celebration? Anyone? Your answer is correct, but tell me why this is celebration. Yes, over there, Jacob. So why? So this is well done. Then you can do every day. Well done, well done. Huh? So 8 hours you do it like this. People think you are crazy. You're getting it? This is not well done. No. Don't interpret your in your own ways. Say why clapping is indication of well done. What is this? Huh? Peace, right? Then with 2 fingers, peace. Three, then more peace. Why 2 fingers is peace, not three fingers? Huh? B for victory and B for vice. Vice, you know? Violence, right? Why this is peace? Why? Any reason? Huh? So why this sign language for peace and not these 3? Why? Concept created. You're getting it? Concept created means convention. You're getting it? Just convention. So it depends. Prostration. For some people, for the Buddhists, in some places, Buddhist prostration, the prostration means gesture is like this, and some people they touch their feet, and the Muslims would do like this, you know. They are all prostrations. It doesn't mean that one is correct, one is wrong. They are all conventions. You're getting it? So when somebody does good, well done. This was correct, right? And in some cases, clapping is a gesture, convention created to say that this is bad, right? So the clapping is to ward off, to remove the evil forces. It is a gesture to remove the evil forces. So the person who first created this, for example, like in Tibet, say when clap means ward off the evil forces, right? So it's just a convention. Because it's just a convention, as long as your thoughts, that is very powerful. Say, I want to ward off the evil forces. I want to congratulate you. Both are correct. You're getting it? It's about the convention. This is what we're going to learn. So we create the convention and we forgot that we created the convention. We see them as so intrinsically real, right? When something bad happens, like this, oh, what is this, right? And people use this as warding off the evils. When they see some people appreciating others by saying this, what is this? You're not appreciating it, right? You're actually warding off this good thing. For example, I say that in Tibet, this is an indication of warding off the evil forces. When they first realized that in China, CCP, with this, then the leader says something, everybody, they don't understand what the leader said. If you don't do this, you're killed. Right? Well done. You have to say this. If you don't say this, you will be killed. Right? Same convention. So, when you go to the sacred places, should we remove the hat or you put on the hat? When you go to the sacred places? Huh? It depends. Don't say the remove. Right? So, when you say remove means in your custom. Removing is a sign of respect. If you put it on, it's not disrespect. In some places, you have to put on the hat. You have to cover your head. A sign of respect. If you don't cover your head, it's a sign of disrespect. These are all conventions. Yet people stick to it very strongly. Right? And then they see you as so, what is that? Barbaric. Right? Barbaric, what is that? There's another word. Heretic. barbaric, right? So uncivilized, not knowing even this norm to respect, right? What is respect? Yeah, I respect, I really respect. You don't have the head, or you have put on the head, right? In one place, if you don't put on the head, it's disrespectful. And then you go to another shrine, you put the head there, respect, right? No, you have no respect, you put on the head. These are all pure conventions. And these conventions bind us. Because of these fights happen, not knowing that these are conventions, our own creation. We create the convention, we forgot we create, and we see them so real there, right? Meanings attached. There's no meaning there. These are all just the conventions that we create, and we forgot we're bound by the conventions. Okay. Okay, next page 35. 8 verses of mind training. Page 35. 8 verses of mind training. Yeah. So we see that the Heart Sutra is to cultivate the wisdom. 8 verses of mind training to cultivate our compassion. And what's the opposite of compassion? Puja? Anger. Puja, what did you say? Hatred, yes. Hatred, anger, self-centered attitude. You're going to, so later we have to differentiate between self-grasping and self-centered. These two are slightly different. Self-grasping is cognitive. Self-centered is affective. You're getting it? So the what is that? The compassion is affective. And what is affective? What is cognitive? We'll learn later. If I don't touch on this area, so Carolina, you have to remind me. Right? Okay. So hatred, anger, exclusivity, not inclusivity. So these, what they do, they push others away from you. You agree? Push others away from you. In the process, you are creating a prison. You think that you are doing something great, creating divisions. This is all creating prison for yourself, because you cannot go in their territory, because you created this barrier. You and I hate you, right? When you say that, you're creating barrier. You cannot go in this territory. Your territory becomes smaller. That is prison. You're imprisoning yourself in your own mental creation. Okay. Now compassion. We see that the opposite of compassion is hatred, anger, ego. Here, the great teacher Geshe Dorje, what he does is that he, in order to encourage, in order to build our compassion, expand our compassion, say he did it in 2 ways. One, to undermine the negative forces, non-conducive forces of the compassion, and to increase the conducive forces of compassion. So he's taking that from 2 sides. So what is the non-conducive factors? Hatred, anger, jealousy, ego. So these are the negative forces of compassion. So subdue them. And what is the positive force of compassion? Reaching out, feeling how grateful, how they say, how kind, how beneficial you are to me, right? How grateful I feel towards you. So these are to be nurtured. And then say, what creates the anger? What creates the hatred? What creates the jealousy? What creates the ego? Again, you look deeper into the causes of these, and then try to remove the causes of these. Then the ego, hatred, jealousy, all this will be curbed, and because of which, then the negative forces are gone. Then the compassion automatically flows. Okay, let's read this. With the determination to achieve the highest aim, for the benefit of all sentient beings, which surpasses even the wish-fulfilling gem, may hold them dear at all times. Whenever I interact with someone, may I view myself as rulers amongst all, and from the very depths of my heart, respectful others as superior. In all my deeds, may I probe into my mind and as soon as mental and emotional afflictions arise, as they endanger myself and others, may I strongly confront them and avert them. When I see beings of unpleasant character, and those oppressed by strong negativity and suffering, may I hold them dear, for they are there to find, as if I had discovered a jewel treasure. When others out of jealousy treat me wrongly with abuse, slander, and scorn, I may take upon myself the defeat and offer to others the victory. When someone whom I placed helped or in whom I placed great hopes mistreats me in extremely hurtful ways, when I regard him still as my precious teacher. In brief, may I offer benefit and joy to all my mothers, both directly and indirectly. May I quietly take upon myself all hurts and pains of my mothers. May all these remain undefiled by the stains of the eight mundane concerns, and may I, recognizing all things as illusions, devoid of clinging, be released from bondage. From our two collections, vast space that I've amassed, from working with effort in this practice for a great length of time, may I become the shield-leading Buddha for all those whose minds were surmised blind of ignorance. Okay, next page 40, mantle offering. Okay, mantle offering is, say, the mentally you offer the whatever is best in huge amount mentally, whatever, to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas. And why we're doing this is that let's say that when you really love and care for somebody, you go there to offer something. You offer something. This is gestures to say that I really they appreciate you, your compassion, your care, your love, and so forth. So as a gesture of that, to build a connection, to appreciate, you make offerings. So the best of the things that you have, you offer to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, to connect yourself to all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas, so that you will learn more from them. And this is what being done. And the whole universe is offered to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas mentally. And after making the offering, then so what? I see you as a role model. I want to learn from you. What are the things that I learn from you? There are two sets of the 4 points, a request that made to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas to inspire us of these qualities. Okay. And the mantle offering the universe. So this hand gesture is a gesture of the universe, right? It's symbolic of universe. Okay. If you don't know how to do this, Jill, you know? Oh. Okay. Jill, you have been too long with. You must be knowing this, no? Okay, never mind. Okay. Kamalji, no. Okay. Yes. Okay. You do one thing. Dorji, go there and teach 3 of them, and Okay, Sonamla, Okay, Sonamla, you go somewhere else. Go there. Yeah, teach it quickly, and then Venerable Anila. Yeah, and okay, the Ben, you teach some of your friends there. Okay, Jane, you don't know? Yes. Okay, no. Okay. Laura, you know, right? Okay. Okay, the girl over there. Okay, those who are supposed to be teaching, don't just make the hand gestures happen. You should let them know how to do it, how to make it happen. Don't just make it happen. You're getting it? You have to tell them how to make it happen. Okay, Sonamla. Here. They already learned? They learned already? Good. Okay, now let's come back. Okay, good. And if you're still struggling, then learn it during the break time, right? Okay. And you make sure that you get hold of your teacher during the break time. And they teach us, right? Don't just make it happen. You have to teach how to make it happen. These two are different, right? Okay. Some people, they make it happen and then the student realize like this, got stuck. The moment doesn't matter, they don't know how to go back. You're getting it? So don't just make it happen. Teach them how to make it happen. You getting it? Okay, let's do this again. You will say this together. This ground adorned with perfume, strewn with flowers, adorned with Mount Meru, the four continents, the sun and the moon. I imagine this as a Buddha field and offer it. May all sentient beings enjoy this pure land. So the world system, what is depicted here, this is not according to the today's commonly accepted world system or solar system, is more from the very olden time, like 5,000 years ago's belief. And so although it doesn't really tally with the reality, it doesn't matter. So just offer the whole universe, you know. And so we say this in Tibetan. Is there? O sajibhe ge joshe mendo tam re ram le she nyen de gam ba de sanje shendo me de buvaye togunam do shalai chubarai sho. Now the two sets of requests that we make, the four Dhammas Venerable Gambhava. May I be blessed that my mind is directed towards the Dharma. May I be blessed that my Dharma practice is on the proper path. May I be blessed that the path is free of flaws. May I be blessed that the flaws are seen in the light of exalted wisdom. The four Dhammas of Venerable Bhikshu Mahasattva, becoming utterly frustrated by the ignorance that grasps at true existence. Please bless me to generate genuine renunciation, seeing all aspects of samsara as viciously repulsive. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious bodhicitta that cherishes others more than myself. Please bless me to find an immaculate experience of the wisdom of emptiness that does not see even an atom of intrinsic reality on the basis of understanding how things come into being by dependent origination through mere conditioning. Please bless me that my mind overflows with the precious wisdom of the non-duality bliss and emptiness. Edam Guru Ratna Lagam Nirateya. Okay, so what you do is that when you say Edam Guru Ratna, then I offer this to all my gurus. So when you do that, this mandala, the hand gesture symbolic of the whole universe, you, after offering, then you dismantle it towards your heart. Idam Guru Ratna Mandala Nirati Ame. So now, since they already offered all Buddhist Bodhisattvas, they are blessed. The whole universe is blessed. And then you dismantle this hand gesture. You receive all these in the whatever you have offered to Buddhist Bodhisattvas, you receive them back. You receive them back to, in the form of the blessings, to activate your mind, to manifest its true nature. To manifest true nature of the perfect love, perfect wisdom, and perfect power, so that you experience the infinite happiness for yourself and for all the dimensional beings. Okay, we'll do this again. Idam Guru Radna Mendelagam Nirateyame. Okay, good. Next, page 42. This is now, thus far, it is like creating the ground for our practice. Now this, the foundation for all good qualities. This has 14 verses. This is like the blueprint. You already have the ground now. On the ground now, you build the blueprint of the Dhamma practice. What actually constitutes the Dhamma practice. So the blueprint is given to us. Then after this, we actually do on the basis of the blueprint, then you practice them. Okay, let's read this by Lama Tsongkhapa, 14th century great Tibetan master. You will hear about him so often because his teachings on wisdom and emptiness is just amazing. The foundation of all good qualities is a kind and a perfect pure Guru. Correct devotion to him is the root of the path. By clearly saying this and applying great effort, please bless me to rely upon him with great respect. Understanding that the precious freedom of this rebirth is found only once, is clearly meaningful and is difficult to find again. Please bless me to generate the mind that unceasingly day and night takes its essence. This life is as impermanent as a water bubble. Remember how quickly decays and death comes. After that, just like a shadow follows the body, the results of virtuous and non-virtuous come up further. Finding firm and firm. Please bless me to always to be careful, to abandon even the slightest negativity and accomplish all virtuous deeds. Spends are unsatisfying and unreliable. Seeking them is the door to all suffering. Recognizing these shortcomings, please bless me to generate a strong wish for the bliss of liberation. Led by this pure thought, mindfulness, and alertness, great question arise. The root of the teaching is keeping the Pratimoksha vows. Please bless me to accomplish this essential practice. Just as I fall into the sea of samsara, so for all mother migratory beings. Please bless me to see this trained in Supreme Bodhicitta and bear the responsibility of freeing migratory beings. Even if I develop Bodhicitta but I don't practice the three types of morality, I'll not achieve enlightenment. With my clear recognition of this, please bless me to practice the Bodhisattva vows with great energy. Once I've pacified distractions to wrong objects and correctly analyzed the meaning of reality, please bless me to generate quickly within my mind stream the unified path of karma abiding special insight. Having become a pure vessel by doing the general path, please bless me to enter the holy gate with the fortunate ones, the supreme virtue of the eagle. At that time, the basis of accomplishing the two attainments is keeping pure vows and samaya. As I become firmly convinced of this, please bless me to protect these vows and bless my life. Then, having realized the importance of the two stages, essence of Vajrayana, by practicing with great energy, never give up the 4 sessions, please bless me to realize the teachings of the Holy Guru. Like that, may the Gurus who showed the noble path and the spiritual friends who practice it have long lives, please bless me to pacify completely all outer and inner hindrances. In all my life is never separate from perfect Gurus, may enjoy the magnificent Dharma by completing the qualities of the stages of the paths, may quickly attain the state of Vajradhara. Okay, this maximum mantra, I'm going to quickly explain about this. This was a praise to Lama Tsongkhapa, the teacher who, on the basis of whose teachings we all what we are sharing, the wisdom of emptiness, all these things, they're coming from the various the Tibetan teachers, like they say in Tibet, Guru Padmasambhava, who was invited to Tibet, and then the Bodhisattva Chandrakshita, the contemporary of Guru Padmasambhava, and later on in Tibet, say around the 11th century, 11th, 12th century, like the Sajjan Gunga Nyingpo, Sakya, great masters, Sajjan Gunga Nyingpo, and Sakya Pandita was a greatly intellectual and a great master. And then around the 11th century again, we see that the Jizun Marpa, the great Kagyu master, Jizun Marpa, who in turn received teachings from Indian master Jizun Narupa, and who in turn received his teachings from Jizun Tilupa. Then Jizun Marpa in Tibet, and his student Jizun Milarepa, and then his student Kambupa Rinpoche, and then Kambupa from then all these, they ate the great sects of Kaikyu, they came into existence. And in the around the same time, like say 11th century was a great century in Tibet, pertaining to Buddhism. 11th century again, the great Indian master Lama Adishita Bingari Jnana, and he started the tradition of Kadamba. And of course, the Westerners, you are aware, many of you may be aware of New Kadamba. Oh, don't mix up the two things. New Kadamba is controversial. You're getting it? Started very recently. And the Kadamba, the real Kadamba, the old Kadamba, that was started in the 11th century by the great Indian master Lama Adishita Bingari Jnana. And in fact, this particular teaching on Bodhicitta, we inherited from him. For example, say we are all learning from His Holiness the Dalai Lama, who in turn received the teachings from, you track back the teachers, they can be traceable to Lama Tisha, who in turn received teachings from Lama Selingpa from Indonesia. Lama Tisha, he was already an incredibly brilliant master in India, but then hearing the fame and the experience of the great master Lama Selingpa in Indonesia, he traveled to Indonesia. And then, it seemed that he also happened to be in Malaysia, then to Indonesia. He spent maybe 1 or 2 years there. Then from there he came back, and then from India he was invited to Tibet. So we got all these teachings there. So what we were talking about, the Bodhicitta, is all inherited from there. And then the 14th century, this great teacher came, Lama Tsongkhapa. And in the olden times, 14th century, his tradition is known as the New Kadamba. But then today we have the New Kadamba, you can easily get mixed up. Don't mix up the two things. So now if you hear the word NKT, New Kadamba tradition, be careful. You getting it? And be careful. It's a little sectarian. Very sectarian, and it can say so it's time for us not to be sectarian, not to be exclusive. It's time for us to be inclusive. Embrace everybody. It doesn't matter what religion that you're following, Hindu, Muslim, Jains, Christians, Jews, let's say Baha'i, the Zoroastrianism, Buddhism, it doesn't matter. Include everybody. We're all suffering. COVID-19 doesn't know what religion that you're following. Right? It touches all of us. Right? We come together as one family, big family, right? And include animals also. Include the vegetations also, ecology also. Embrace all. This is so important. It's time for us not to, split, divide. It's time for us to come together, right? So this is Bodhicitta. So, and this great teacher, 14th century, Lama Tsongkhapa, this praise, Mixama, is a praise to Lama Tsongkhapa. In fact, how it came into existence was that this was actually composed by himself. Not for him, for his teacher. He queried his teacher, Jizun, the Rendawa Shunulutu, his teacher. And he queried his teacher with the three perfect qualities of Buddha. Perfect knowledge, perfect love, and perfect power. Perfect knowledge symbolized by Arya-Manjushri. Arya-Manjushri, the Buddha of the wisdom, or the Buddhist of the wisdom. Here? Okay. Where? Okay. So, the wisdom manifested in the form of Arya-Manjushri. compassion, universal compassion manifested in the form of Avalokiteshvara. Then the power manifested in the form of Vajrapani. 3. So Lama Tsongkhapa, he equated his teacher with the perfection of these 3 qualities. You are like Manjushri, Avalokiteshvara, Vajrapani. And the teacher read the piece and he erased his own name. He erased his name and replaced it with Lama Tsongkhapa's name, saying that this praise fits better with you rather than with me. Then it became so widely being said all over Tibet in 14th century AD. So we'll say this together. First the English, then we'll sing this in Tibetan 3 times. You are Avalokiteshvara, great treasure of non-referential compassion, and Manjushri, master of flawless wisdom, as well as Vajrapani, destroyer of hosts of demons without exception. Tsongkhapa, crown jewel of the sage of the land of snows, Lobsang Taba, at your feet, make prostrations. Now the Tibetan 3 times. When you say Tibetans, there are 5 lines there, but just to accommodate the melody, we skipped the number 3. And there's no reason there. There's not the number 3 is redundant. And just to accommodate the melody, the 3rd one is skipped. Okay. Next is page 45. Generating the mind of consummate yoga. Generating the mind of consummate yoga. For this, now is a pure practice. So, till now, it is like creating the ground, creating the blueprint. Now, on the basis of the ground, firm ground, with the proper blueprint, now we tread on the path. We have to practice. So, what practices? 4 components, which we discussed earlier. First one is renunciation. Number 2 is bodhicitta. Number 3 is wisdom of emptiness. Number 4 is shamatha. Okay, so what we do here is that first we will do the shamatha. Shamatha first. followed by renunciation, bodhicitta, and the wisdom of emptiness. Once that is done, then we take the aspirational bodhisattva vow. When we say vow, it doesn't mean that, okay, now where is he taking us? Right? It's nothing to do, it's just simply like, making the good heart. That the, say, bodhisattva vow, there are two kinds. One is known as engaged bodhisattva vow. And the second one is aspirational bodhisattva vow. There are two. For the engaged bodhisattva vow, you should be really very serious. It's not like you just jump into teaching and then you take the vow. No. It requires you to have the proper training in the practice and compassion. Particularly with the practice of compassion, it should really, you see that your heart is really expanding over several years of experience. Minimum that's required. When you feel that you have vast learning and your compassion is increasing, at that point, then you are entitled to take the engaged bodhisattva vow. Whereas what you're doing here, this is known as the aspirational bodhisattva vow. It does not require any commitment. Even if you have no clue of what this bodhicitta is, still, as long as you feel that I must be a good person, I must not be, harmful to others, I must not be a cunning person. If this is what you can commit yourself to, I'll try my best not to be cunning towards others. I'll try my best to be as beneficial and kind towards other people. If this is what you can commit, you're entitled to take the aspiration bodhisattva vow. There's no commitment at all, just to feel that I will be a good person. I will not create problem on others. Right? Okay. So with this, first is the shamatha practice, single point meditation, shamatha practice. For this, we already did yesterday. We're going to do 5 minutes now. 5 minutes of the practice for this. The 4 points to keep in mind, what are they? Body posture, focal point, identifying the errors of meditation, applying the remedies to overcome the errors. 4 points. Okay. Or the body posture, what is so important is that the body upright. Backbone upright is very important. And then eyes not closed, very important. These two things. The rest, up to you. Rest is not too, may not be extremely matter, but if you can, that would be best. Like cross-legged, would you try? Okay, you like to try cross-legged. Cross-legged is where your left foot on your right leg first. Okay, you like to try left foot on your right leg. Professor William, you like to try? You already did there. Perfect. Okay. Right foot, left foot on your right leg. Then right foot on your left leg. This sequence. Okay. Then the next, the body upright. Number 2. And your head tilted forward a little bit. Eyes not closed. Eyes half open. 45 degrees cast down and just ignore. And the tip of the tongue should touch the upper palate to avoid excessive saliva in your mouth. Teeth and the lips in the natural course, and breathe normally. Don't force your breath. Don't control your breath. Don't force your breath. Right hand on your left hand. The two thumbs joining, standing, forming a triangle. Place the two hands on your lap in restful state. Okay. And with a little bit of space around your the arms and your ribs, so that the fresh air can flow freely. This is your body posture. Now what are you going to meditate on? The focal point. The focal point is count the breath. Breathe in, breathe out, cycle 1. Again, breathe in, breathe out, cycle 2. We're going to do this for 5 minutes. For 5 minutes, for some people, it can be like 60 cycles. For others, it can be like 90 cycles, depending on the length of your breath. Okay. If you think you can, then let's go for multitasking. Count on the breath, plus visualizing a tiny white dot like this, like 2 mm in diameter, between nose and upper lip. Two things happening together. And many questions are there. Can the mind really do that? Two things together. Don't worry about this for the time being. Just do that. Right? This is your focal point. Number 3, identify the errors of meditation. 2 potential errors: inactivity of the mind and overactivity of the mind. Inactivity of the mind known as laxity. Overactivity of the mind known as mental excitement. These 2 things are the error. Should any of these 2 things happen, go for number 4. Applying the remedies to overcome the errors. What remedies? Twofold: introspection and mindfulness. Okay, from tomorrow, no instruction, right? Simply we do that. What is introspection? In the meditation, constantly keep an eye on your mind to see if your mind is meditating, still meditating, or is already in an inactive state or laxity, or in an active state of, overactive state of the mental excitement, right? This is introspection, just checking your mind. And if you see that your mind is distracted or in a lax state, apply mindfulness. With the mindfulness, bring the mind back to the intended object of meditation. For example, like if you have a pet dog, you lose the pet dog, what do? First you go and search the pet dog. This is introspection. Once you find the pet dog, then the job of introspection is done. Then you tie the dog with the rope, bring it back home and tie to the pillar of your home. Likewise, when you see that your mind is distracted or in a lax state, use the rope of the mindfulness to bring the mind back to the intended object of the meditation, which is the focal point, breath, and the tiny white dot. Ready? 5 minutes. Okay, next is renunciation. And so the first part, the shamatha practice, this is referred to as a single-pointed meditation. Now renunciation, bodhicitta, wisdom and emptiness, all these three fall under the category of the analytical meditation. As I said earlier, meditation, there are two kinds, single-pointed meditation and analytical meditation. Single-pointed meditation, highest level of which is known as shamatha. And what we did already, this shamatha meditation, and the analytical meditation, highest point of which is known as the special insight meditation. Special insight meditation, and this is analytical. So for the analytical meditation, what we do here in the group is that is done on the basis of the what you call as the guided meditation. Instructions will be given, and then you just keep reflecting on these. Keep reflecting. Analysis should happen. This is how we improve your cognitive ability and to bring about transformation in your mind. Okay. And later on, the analytical meditation is not necessary that you should somebody to guide you. You should be able to do that on your own later on. So initially seek the help of somebody, and later on you do it in all these learnings that we are doing, like bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, and so forth. These are as the instructions for us how to meditate. Apply this in your analysis or analytical meditation. Okay, this is going to be guided meditation, and guided meditation means that you are advised not to think of anything else. Just focus on the instructions. Try to let your mind flow in the instruction, and don't even try to correlate what instruction given now and what you've learned before. Don't try to correlate them. Just try to follow the instruction. And if you want to correlate, you can correlate later on, not now. So because this is a time when you are actually putting into practice. So correlation is to fine-tune your meditation. That will be done in the in-between session, not during the session. Okay, ready? So in the process, don't just think that, don't just say, okay, it's like a nice meditation, he gives instruction, then I flow like a music. So what is being said, try to register them. You're getting it? For example, say renunciation. So in the instruction, you'll be given some meanings to the renunciation, where you might flow, at the same time register these. Okay, now this is the meaning of renunciation. You getting it? Okay, good. You ready? First, the renunciation. Renunciation, it means to renounce your miseries. It does not mean to renounce your happiness. To renounce the miseries, we need to know how to renounce the causes of the miseries. The Buddha indicated, "E dharma hetu prabhava, hetum tesham tathagata hyavat." All these miseries arise from the causes. And what are these causes? The causes the Buddha taught in the form of contaminant karmas and afflictions, inappropriate attention, and self-grasping ignorance. And self-grasping ignorance and inappropriate attention, they are all to be included as a part of the affliction. In short, contaminant karmas and afflictions. All these afflictions, contaminant karmas, they are rooted to the ignorance. Ignorance or misconceptions. And Buddha identified four important misperceptions which can be actively involved in our creating the miseries. What are the four misconceptions? Seeing impermanent phenomena as permanent. Seeing miseries as of happiness. Saying what is of selfless nature as of self-hurt. And seeing impure things as pure. So to counteract these four misconceptions, Buddha taught the four seals. The first, all composite things are impermanent. In your life, think of those people who met in your life 10 years ago, 20 years ago, Now, many of them already gone. They are nowhere to be seen around in the world. Also, extremely beautiful moments, beautiful days in the past, celebrating your birthday, your parents' birthday, your grandparents' birthday, and so forth, family gathering, and so forth. Now, that particular family gathering is so far already gone. They will never come back again. And sometimes the whole village is so lively today, and the next day washed away by landslide, by the flood, and so forth, impermanence. And today there are 8 billion human beings. There are so many young people looking forward to the career building, and parents having so much expectation from their children. And the children, they have so much of the expectations, objectives in their life, aims. 200 years ago, just as today's people, young people, old people, 200 years ago, they were also the time, they were young people, they were old people, parents and children. And children, they have so much of plans for their life. And parents, they have so much expectation from their children. Today, where are they? They're all gone. They're all gone today. Not even a single person is left. 200 years down the line in future, none of the 8 billion human beings will be alive then, guaranteed. So today, we have so much of hopes, expectations, worries, and so forth. Your parents have so much of expectation on you, and you have so much of hopes to build your career and so forth. Whether your career's expectations are fulfilled, not fulfilled, in 200 years, I'm not say the only handful of people will be remembered. In those days, the rest will not even be remembered. This is reality. This is impermanence. It's very scary, yes. And this impermanence is of two kinds: gross impermanence and subtle impermanence. Gross impermanence, the obvious change, the cessation of the youth, cessation of life. The Buddha taught, what gathers will all disperse. What is accumulated is all exhausted. What stands will fall. What is born will die. These are the realities of impermanence. Yes, that's very true. And subtle impermanence, where a phenomenon is impermanent, should necessarily have momentariness involved. The change that you see over the span of 10 years is because of the changes that you see in a year's time. Say a tree that grows 10 feet tall in 10 years' time, actually the tree grows only one foot a year. And this is a change. The changes that you see in 1 year, 1 foot, is possible with the change of the growth of 1 inch in 1 month. The change that happens in 1 month is what's change that happens in the day. The change that happens in the day is because of the hour, minute, second, and millisecond. This is how this tree, which is so tall, which looks so static, actually has been moving momentarily, very subtly. It has been moving momentarily. There's instantaneity there, momentariness there, and your body is no exception. Your mind is no exception. Yourself as a person is no exception. All composite things are moving at that fast pace. We see things are so static. This is all optical illusion. In reality, what's composite phenomena should necessarily be changing moment by moment, moving so fast, like very fast moving train, moving so fast. If you can see that, it's so scary. And you will not, your life will be very different. You'll really look for a purpose of life rather than the wasting of life just in indulgence. Okay. So yes, our bodies move so fast. Our mind is moving so fast. Whole world is moving so fast. Just imagine that you are thrown in a very fast moving train. What do you feel? So much of fear. The faster the train moves, the more the fear. Yes, our body, our mind, ourselves is moving so fast, much faster than the fast moving train. Very scary. Who decides where this train? Why you are scared? Because we don't know where this train is taking us. Train of the body is taking us. Train of the mind is taking us. Where? We don't know. Who decides where the train takes us? Train driver. If the train driver is the parents, no doubt the train will take you to a picnic spot. But if the train driver is either the terrorist or in the hands of the terrorist, no doubt it will take you to a slaughterhouse. In our case, the train driver is our mind. Unfortunately, this train driver is in the hands of the worst of the demons or the contaminations. Worst of contamination is the self-grasping ignorance. The self-grasping ignorance complemented by self-centered attitude, then it is really demonic. It destroys us, gives so much of pain, stress, anxiety, anguish, depression, bewilderment, confusion. All these things are created because of that. So this is what the Buddha indicated as all contaminated things are suffering nature. And one moment of such a suffering is good enough. One moment of tragedy is good enough to nullify all the past experiences of merriments, celebrations, festivities, and birthday parties, and so forth. This one moment tragedy, loss of near and dear ones, is good enough to nullify all the past experiences. The whole life shatters into gloominess, darkness, and hopelessness. And this is the reality. And yet, the childlike people, they are so infatuated with the indulgence. Forget the reality that one day will be hit with this tragedy, where all these indulgences seem so trivial, shallow, and meaningless. Yes, that's true. And when will this stop? When this stop? 2022 stopped on its own. We did not really have to put any effort. It stopped on its own. And when will this problem, having to shed tears, so much of fear, anxiety, becoming paranoid, hysterical, when will this stop? This will never stop on their own. Until we put effort. What kind of effort? Effort to curb. Effort to get rid of the root of the miseries. What are the roots of miseries? Self-grasping ignorance. What is this ignorance? What is ignorance? Ignorance, by the very definition, is discerning mind whose apprehension of the object does not tally with the reality. In other words, the ignorance which blinds us from having the vision of the reality. How to get rid of this? By introducing the counterforce. And what is the counterforce? The wisdom. What is the wisdom? The wisdom is the discerning mind whose apprehension of the object tallies with reality. And what's the reality? Reality is what the Buddha indicated as everything is nature, emptiness, selfless. That everything is like a dream. You wake up and all the contents of the dream simply dissolve. You see that they are all deceptive, which otherwise seen as so object real. We see that they're all deceptive, they're all empty of being real. Instantly, relief comes to you. What kind of relief? It transcends all your sorrows. Transcending sorrow is absolute peace. This is the fourth seal. Stay in this experience where you visualize that you wake up from the sleep of ignorance and all the miseries of samsara dissolve. This is a transcendent sorrow. If you can abide in this experience of the emptiness of the reality in a very confident way. This is nirvana, transcendent sorrow. Okay, let's next move to bodhicitta. Okay, ready? Okay, emptiness, we don't go into detail here. The 4, meaning the seal number 3, everything is emptiness, selflessness. This will do more in detail later when we study emptiness. Okay, good. Next is bodhicitta. Okay, again this is going to be a guided meditation. Again, said properly. Bodhicitta is unconditional love, taking the responsibility of all the beings. By you becoming Buddha, you become the full enlightened being to benefit all the beings. Okay, for this we need a role model. Those people who actually embrace all beings with love and affection. Who are they? The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Visualize all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas in front of you. And for you practice the universal compassion of bodhicitta, they should be the beings, all the beings, your family members, and all sentient beings, human beings, animals, insects, and so forth, which are all of them with you. And imagine that you are inspiring everybody to join you, and they all join you to generate this unconditional love bodhicitta, that one breaks the barrier created by your self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. Okay. And the bodhicitta practice, we do that on the basis of the 4 immeasurables. Ready? Of the 4 immeasurables, we'll do only the first 2 today, and later on we will do the 4 later meaning in the next days. Immeasurable compassion. Let us invoke the Spirit. Let us flow, let our mind flow into the instructions, along with the instructions. Even if the instruction may not resonate with your innate natural thinking, it doesn't matter. This is where we need practice. It can be very superficial, it doesn't matter. This is like practicing music. When you practice music, first you mimic your teacher, and there's no music coming out, it's just a noise. And gradually it becomes music. So initially it may resonate with it can be too superficial that it doesn't resonate with your natural thinking. Because of this is what is known as the noise, not the music. You keep practicing. This is known as training or practice. Eventually music will flow, music compassion will flow. Okay, ready? Immeasurable compassion. How good would it be that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. Causes of suffering primarily consisting of self-grasping ignorance and self-centered attitude. May all my dear mother sentient beings be freed from suffering and the causes of suffering. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are freed from suffering and the cause of suffering. The Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, they are so happy and pleased to see that you make such a courageous commitment. This happiness and the joy invoke the compassion of omniscient mind to send forth nectars and very soothing lights towards you and all ultimate sentient beings. The mere touch of the lights and nectars with the bodies beings of yours washes away all the miseries and the cause of miseries from the minds of yourself and all the ultimate sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miracle is happening towards all of the sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Next, immeasurable loving kindness. How good would it be that all my dear sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. Causes of happiness primarily consisting of unconditional love of bodhicitta and a wisdom to see everything is like a dream. May all my dear mother sentient beings be endowed with happiness and the causes of happiness. I will take the responsibility that all my dear mother sentient beings are endowed with happiness and the cause of happiness. The Buddha's Bodhisattvas witnessing you make such a courageous commitment, they're intensely happy and proud of you. This pride and happiness invoke their compassion omniscient minds to descend from nectars of our soothing lives towards you and all dear sentient beings. The mere touch of lights and nectars with the body springs of yours instills in all happiness and the causes of happiness within yourself and all dear sentient beings. And you witnessing such a miraculous happening towards all of them sentient beings, you are intensely happy. Take 3 deep breaths, sighing with relief. Abide in this unconditional love towards all the demon sentient beings. Imagine that you are looking at the eyes of each of the demon sentient beings to the extent that each one of them feels themselves as so special in your eyes. With his mind, with folded hands, let us make a Bodhicitta commitment. I'll say this line once, and we'll all say this together 3 times. And again, as I said earlier, it can be very superficial. It doesn't matter. This is the only way by which to train ourselves to expand the circle of compassion, that your happiness expands. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Together 3 times. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. May I become Buddha for the benefit of all my dear mother sentient beings. Abide in this most beautiful mind of the Bodhicitta in this universe, believe it or not. This courageous mind of Bodhicitta, this most beautiful mind that you can ever imagine. Slowly transform this beautiful mind of Bodhicitta into a spotless clean moon disk, 1 inch or 1.5 inches in diameter, horizontally sitting on the heart. Okay. That's amazing that you made such a courageous commitment to become Buddha for the benefit of all sentient beings, which means that you're going to remove all the mental defilements, that your Buddha nature inside becomes manifest to experience the ultimate happiness, ultimate joy, ultimate compassion, ultimate wisdom, and ultimate power. But how are you going to remove the mental dirts? Remember that no matter how much you squeeze a handful of sand, no oil comes out. How do you know that you're putting effort? By putting effort, you can have the Buddhahood manifesting. How do you know that? Yes, I'm not like a handful of sand, instead I'm like a handful of sunflower seeds. How do you know that? Why not that? How come that since time immemorial till now, this Buddha nature is never manifested? Yes, that's true. It's all because that till now I'm being deceived by the 2 demons, self-grasping, ignorant, self-centered attitude. Today, I'm disillusioned by the 2 demons, and I'm going to say no to 2 demons. I'm going to do everything to exterminate 2 demons. What am I going to do? I'm going to introduce a very powerful remedy to overcome these 2 demons. What is the remedy? The wisdom of emptiness. And of course, we're going to meditate on the wisdom of emptiness at the moment. Just visualize that we wake up from the sleep of unconventional dream. We come to see all what happened in the dream, unconventional dream of sickness, aging, death, tension, depression, war, and so forth. They're all like my own mental projection. You wake up and all your distress, stress, anxiety, sorrow, they're all transcended. Just experience that. You see that you wake up, whatever you see in the dream, they're all empty. They're all not real. Okay. So this wisdom, symbolic wisdom of the emptiness, slowly transform this into like a thumb-sized white Vajra. If you don't know what is a Vajra, don't worry. Just like thumb-size, the structure, nature of the wisdom of emptiness, vertically sitting on the mountains of the heart. Okay. So now this is known as the non-dual bodhicittas. Two bodhicittas in one form. The moon, symbolic of the conventional bodhicitta, to exterminate the self-centered attitude. The Vajra, symbolizing the ultimate bodhicitta, the non-dual wisdom of emptiness of the Arya Bodhisattvas. To exterminate all the mental defilements. You are very fortunate that today you have generated the non-dual bodhisattvas within you, the Vajra moon. Don't forget your two parents, your children, all the family members and all sentient beings. If they are suffering and you liberate it, what's the point? With incredible compassion, you imagine that the Vajramuni in your heart to multiply infinite number of times. Share one set of Vajramuni at the heart of your mother, one set with the heart with your father at his heart, one set with each one of your children, one set with each one of family members, with each one of the neighbors, each one of the beings, human beings here in Thosamling Nunnery, each one of the creatures in this, the tiny insects, the dogs, the cats, the worms, spirits, hungry ghosts, god and goddesses, and every sentient being in your country, in the world, in the entire Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Now everyone, all sentient beings have the share of Vajra moons which you so generously shared with. Amazing. Meanwhile, let us not forget that all Buddhist Bodhisattvas they are with us. Why not we invite them to be the witness, to be a guest to our taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, to undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, as a gesture of taking the requesting all the Buddhist Bodhisattvas to be a guest and the witness. Let us slowly stand up to make three prostrations to all Buddhist Bodhisattvas to request them, please be a guest and a witness to undertaking the ceremony of the aspiration Bodhisattva vow. Okay, if you can sit on your right knees. If you can, if you have no issue with the backache problem, knee problem, sit on your right knees. If you do have problem, sit in the most comfortable position. Okay, so this is the undertaking the ceremony of taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and page 50, I think, page 50. Oh yes, page 50. And since it'll take maybe like 3 or 4 or 5 minutes, meanwhile, if you start to feel the pain in your legs, then you can start with sit on the right knee, and later when you start to have the pain, then sit in the most comfortable position. Whereas those who have knee problem, don't force yourself to sit on your knee, just sit comfortably. And particularly people with the knee replacement done, make sure that you don't force yourself sit in the most comfortable position. Okay, so as I said earlier, this is the taking the aspiration Bodhisattva vow, and it has nothing to do with that you should become a Buddhist. No, anybody can take part in this ceremony. No need to be Buddhist, nothing. No commitment. If at all, there should be some commitment. Then, in your mind, if you can feel that from today onwards, I'll try to be as kind towards other people. I'll try my best not to harm others. I'll try my best to be helpful, beneficial to others. This much, if you can commit yourself, you are entitled to be a part of this program, be a part of this ceremony. You getting it? You don't have to be, no need to be Buddhist, no need to be anything, no commitment at all. Okay, so the the first verse, I'm going to quickly explain this. The first verse is that it says that I'm going to awaken my true potential within me. You're getting it? True potential within me, the infinite happiness and total fearlessness. This is what I'm going to awaken. This is known as awakening. Awakening in Sanskrit is Bodhi, right? Okay. Or Buddhahood. Buddhahood meaning state of awakening. And so this is a long journey. Even to become a professor is not the easy task. It takes many years to awaken your mind fully. It'll take a long time, because it's the journey which we have never undertaken thus far. And this journey, to undertake this journey, I require a lot of support. For example, in the various universities, wherever in the world, in order for you to be enrolled in PhD program and so forth, you will need the support of the professors. You getting it? Okay. So the greatest of the support that you can think of are the Triple Gem. Buddha, Dharma and Sangha. So first line says, I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. Number one. Then this journey involves a road, and the journey means there should be a road there, the path. And this road, if that is blocked by the boulders, fallen trees and so forth, again the journey is not going to be smooth, it's not going to be successful. So the road must be cleared of the obstacles like the blocks and so forth. This road is none other than only your mind. This is the journey of the mind, it's not external journey. Journey of mind. This road of the mind should be cleared of the mental defilements, mental negativities, negative, ill will and so forth. The best way by to clear the mental defilements is by the confessing the negativities. So the second line says, I confess the negativities individually. Now the road is clear, but if the car does not have fuel, again you cannot undertake the journey. The car is none other than only your mind. Your mind has to travel to the full awakening. So this mind should have enough fuel to undertake the journey. This fuel is none other than the fuel of the virtues. How do you accumulate so much of fuel of the virtues? Is by rejoicing in the virtues of others and yourself. Third line says, I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. Okay, now the road is clear. The car has enough fuel. What kind of journey are you going to undertake? The journey of full awakening. The last line says, I hold the precious Buddhahood in my heart. Okay. Then the next two verses is the actual ceremony. Okay, let's say the first verse 3 times. Meanwhile, let us reinforce, visualize all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas in front of us, in a space in front of us, particularly Buddha Shakyamuni, His Holiness the Dalai Lama, and around you, think of all your family members, your children, your parents, and everyone, all sentient beings with you. The human beings, animals, insects, and everyone in this whole universe, they are with you, and they are taking the responsibility with you. And you are inspiring them. Okay, let's say this together. I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. I go for refuge in the Triple Gem. I confess the negativities individually. I rejoice in the virtues of all the beings. I hold the precious Buddha in my heart. Okay, the next two verses. This is a main ceremony. So you invoke your gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas to pay attention to you. And then the next two verses, the first is in relation to the Buddhas of the past, and who succeeded in benefiting all the beings. For in history of humanity, Buddha Shakyamuni came 2,500 years ago. He did that. How did he succeed in this? One person became enlightened, and then all these 2,500 years, so many people have benefited. How come that he succeeded in this journey? Two factors. One, extremely powerful motivation. The motivation bodhicitta, that I will awaken myself to benefit all the beings. I will become Buddha to benefit all the beings. Very strong motivation. Factor number two. To materialize this aspiration, he engaged in the Bodhisattva practices, 6 perfections and 4 perfections. Being 10 perfections, commonly referred to as 6 perfections: generosity, ethical discipline, patience, enthusiasm, meditative concentration, and the wisdom. And then the 4, skillfulness, aspiration prayers, power, and the primordial wisdom, 4, total 6. In other words, all the good actions of the bodhisattvas. So this is how he became now enlightened to benefit all the beings. If this is how he succeeded, I will also follow his footsteps. I will also engage in the create the 2 factors. 1, very powerful motivation, and number 2, engage in the bodhisattva practices. So that one day, very soon, I will as well become one like you, the Buddha Shakyamuni, to benefit all the beings. Okay. Again, wholeheartedly say this together. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in their Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Gurus, Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, please pay heed to me. Just as the previous Buddhas have generated the mind of Bodhicitta, and just as they successfully dwell in the Bodhisattva practices, likewise for the benefit of all sentient beings, I will generate the mind of Bodhicitta, and likewise shall I too successfully train the Bodhisattva practices. Just feel this bodhicitta coming within you. Feel the joy of having received the aspiration bodhisattva vow. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are so proud of you today that since time immemorial, all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they expect us to be doing virtues and not to suffer, instead to experience the ultimate happiness. But on the contrary, we have been doing only embracing the negative courses, and they suffer all the time. And today, the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are so proud to see that you are doing something very different today. It is like the mother, after all these many years of raising children and always getting complaints from the school saying that your daughter, your son, they are so mischievous. And then today the school principal comes, and the mother again apprehensive what they complain. And the principal said, no, we came here to congratulate you. Why? That your son and your daughter, 2 of them, are appointed the best of the students of the school for this year. Your mother could not believe what has happened today. So this is exactly what happens to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. They feel so proud of you today that all these lifetimes we have been just wasting our life in indulgence, negativity and so forth, and today you do something so good, not only for yourself, but for all sentient beings. All the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, they are so proud of you, like how the mother feels proud of her little girl and little son. So this pride and happiness all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas experience invoke the Vajra moon at their hearts to multiply infinite number of times. Like rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes with the heart. Likewise, in rain shower, they descend to merge with the one that visualizes in the heart of your mother, at the heart of your father, at the heart of each one of your children, family members, each of the sentient beings here in Thosamling, in your country, in the world, in the Milky Way galaxy, in the entire universe. Now everyone, the Vajra moon that you have shared with them, they are being blessed by the innumerable Vajra moons from all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. That's amazing. If there is one thing, if there's one gift which is the greatest gift for all the sentient beings, you're generating bodhicitta. This is the greatest gift. If there's one offering that you can make to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, which is best, this today what it is best. The Buddha himself declared that better offering the whole universe filled with gems to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas is generating one moment of compassion towards the beings. If this were to be the case, what I mentioned of you having generated bodhicitta, taking the aspiration bodhisattva today, this is the greatest offering that you can think of making to all Buddhas, Bodhisattvas, and today you made this offering. And a life, what is the greatest meaning of life? And this is the greatest meaning of life. And today you've extracted this meaning out of life. You have given such meaning to your life. And this all happens because of the blessings of all the Buddhas, Bodhisattvas. as a gesture of thanking all the Buddhas and Bodhisattvas, let us again stand up to make tree prostration to all Buddhas and Bodhisattvas. Imagine that all sentient beings are joining you in this making prostrations. Okay, now sit comfortably. Let's turn to page 51. Okay, let's say that today in this life, we are breathing the same air as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We are treading the same planet Earth as His Holiness the Dalai Lama. We are so meritorious. And then I'm getting the opportunity to learn about bodhicitta, wisdom, emptiness, to extract the greatest meaning of our life. What about next life? Not sure. So next life, to make sure that in the next life we come in contact with this kind of teaching, we include this in the form of very powerful, the powerful practice. So if you're born in a place where these teachings are totally unheard of, bodhicitta, how many people heard about bodhicitta? May I be able to awaken my state of perfection for the benefit of all sentient beings. How many people heard about this teaching? So less. It's very scary. If you're born in such a place, finish, we're cut off from these beautiful teachings. So the chances for us to awaken our seed is totally obscured, totally out of sight. So the prayers, include them in the power of prayers. So that is page 51. And let's say this 3 times together wholeheartedly. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Throughout my future lifetimes, may I always be guided by the compassionate Buddha and be able to uphold the true precious bodhicittas even at the cost of my life. Okay, the next verses, they are taken from Bodhisattva Shantideva's text, A Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. These are extremely, and this author, his book we must keep as our daily practice, as a lifelong guide. Keep them with us, and this is known as Guide to the Bodhisattva's Way of Life. These few verses are taken from his book, and he is reading chapter 9, which wisdom chapter is, you can see that he's an extremely refined scholar. Reading chapter 8, you see that he's an extremely compassionate person. Extremely compassionate person. Combined together makes the person somebody who can guide the world. Okay. So, these verses are added to find joy. The moment you hear about the bodhicitta, there's a joy coming in you. We have to learn how to trigger joy with the word bodhicitta. So in next life, when somebody says bodhicitta, instantly you feel at home. Right? You feel at home. So for example, like Kamalji, she started Bodhicitta Center in Singapore, in the Chandigarh. There's a Bodhicitta Center there started by her. And I didn't know we didn't know each other at all. And suddenly I received a message inviting me. What is that? It's a Bodhicitta Center. Where? In Chandigarh. No, it can't be true. And later on, I came to know that Kamalji, she's the one who started Bodhicitta Center there. So I went there recently. So when you see that Bodhicitta, reading these verses, you learn how to trigger the joy. In next life, you hear the word Bodhicitta, instantly you feel connected, right? You feel connected. And then you go, where this word coming? And then you see the whole treasure of the Bodhicitta teachings will be available. Okay. In order to further increase this bodhicitta from now on, those with discernment who have lucidly seized an awakened mind of bodhicitta in this way should highly praise in the following manner. Today my life has borne fruit. Having well obtained this human existence, I've been born in the family of the Buddha, and now am one of Buddha's children. Thus whatever actions I do from now on must be in accord with the family. Never shall I disgrace this and pollute this noble and unsullied race. Just like a blind man discovering a jewel of Hebrew rubbish, likewise by some coincidence an awakened mind has been born within me. Is the supreme ambrosia that overcomes the sovereignty of death, is the inexhaustible treasure that eliminates the poverty of the world, is the supreme medicine that quells the world's disease, is the tree that shelters all beings wandering and tied on the path of conditioned existence, is the universal bridge that leads to freedom from unhappy states of birth, is the dawning moon of the mind that dispels the torment of disturbing conceptions, is the great sun that finally removes the mistakes in the world, is the quintessential butter from the churn in the middle of Dharma. For all those guys traveling on the path of conditioned existence who wish to experience the abundance of happiness, this will satisfy them with joy and it will place them in the supreme bliss. Today, in the presence of all the protectors, I invite the world to be guests at a festival temporary and ultimate delight. May gods, demigods, and all be joyful. Okay, dedication prayer. I dedicate the merit thus gathered to us to realize just that deeds in the prayers of Buddhas and Bodhisattvas of 3 times and to the upholding of the doctrine of scripture and insight. May in all lives, through the force of this merit, never separate from the 4 wheels of the Mahan vehicle and accomplish all the stages of the path, renunciation, bodhicitta, perfect in the 2 stages. From my 2 collections, vast the space that I've amassed from working with effort at this practice for a great length of time, may I become the chief leading Buddha for all those whose minds wisdom is blinded by ignorance. Tirtha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvatyatha Om Gati Gati Paragati Parasam Gati Bodhisvatyatha. 3 prayers together.